If your kids are between the ages of 5 and 16 and you teach them this one financial principle, it'll set them up for life. Here's the truth. Most adults struggle with money. And it's not because they're irresponsible or unintelligent. It's because nobody taught them this trick about money. The 1% teach their kids this one thing that flips their mindset from the beginning and changes their entire financial future for years to come. And no, this is not saving. This is not investing. This is not spending. It's something deeper that completely changes the way they see money. I've worked with high-income families for years, and I've got to see firsthand how simple habits can either create lifelong wealth or lifelong stress. Most parents focus on don't waste your money, get out of debt, watch your spending. The key thing that wealthy people teach their kids about money is that money is a tool, and it's not about what, it's about who. When you look at money as a tool, not as something that's evil or that only rich people have, you start to think, how can I use this tool to create the most productivity? But how this works is from a kid's perspective, right? If you take a small child and you tell them, you have $3, you get the choice to either buy one stuffed animal that's worth $3 or 3 stuffed animals that are worth $1. Which one do you want? Oh, I don't know. What's the difference? They start to understand that when you're looking at money as a tool, then you can use that tool to buy the $3 stuffed animal, which is the nicer of the stuffed animals. And nowadays it's like $30 for a stuffed animal. So bear with me on the example here, okay? When you start to look at, as they get older, they're gonna look at things that way. Should I buy this cheap shirt? Should I buy this cheap car? Should I buy these cheap everything? Or should I buy the one thing that I really want? That creates a different set of value, because let's say they want the $3 stuffed animal, but they only have $2. They know that if they wait until they have 3, then they can get that $3 stuffed animal. At a young age, they're teaching their kids that money is a tool. The second piece of that, remember, it's not about what, it's about who. You look at these young people all the time, and Sabrina Cardone comes to my mind. She has a great communication skill set, and she meets all of these people. She has relationships with her father's friends and connections, her mother's friends and connections. She's even learned how to make her own friends and connections. See, wealthy people, very wealthy people, if they were to lose all of their money, they would get it right back. Why? Because they have relationships with people that can help them get what they want. The more relationships you have with high quality people, the more money you will have. No matter what industry you're in, whether you're a business owner, whether you're a W-2 employee. Everyone says you're some of the 5 people you hang around with. What that means is the focus is on who are you spending time with, who are you doing business with, who are you learning from. It's always about the who. It's not necessarily about the what. If you're learning about money and you're learning really good principles, but the people teaching it to you are poor, is that really good? No. You want to learn the principles of people who actually have money. So it's not about what, it's about who, and money is a tool to use for good. Now as the kids get a little bit older, let's say in that pre-teens, 9 to 12, they're starting to be more developed and they can understand more advanced concepts other than just a $3 stuffed animal example. The next example they teach is how can you take the money you have and use it to acquire the new relationships. In the one example, in the early stage, you're looking at how to use money to acquire things. As you start to get older, how do you use money to acquire relationships? For example, if you have a kid and he goes and you're explaining this to a kid, it's an adult example because most kids, they're not actually spending money. But let's say now from 9 to 12, they have an allowance. So they're making money, they have some income coming in. And they're starting to get into video games. Now video games, you might think, wait, hold on a second. I thought you said it's about who, not about the what, right? I'll get to that. So let's say they're playing video games and they want to buy the newest Call of Duty or Fortnite or Madden, whatever game that they're into, and they want to buy the new game. In that game, you might think, okay, that's a waste of time. They're going to be in front of a screen. They're not really getting any relationships. However, what if the friends that they're associated with are positive influences on their life that they play video games with? That might be something that makes a lot of sense. However, what if they're more, not a video game person, but they're more of a student athlete? They're playing sports. And by having a certain type of shoe that they spend money on, or by having a certain type of basketball or football or equipment, then that puts them in the same category as other kids. And they learn how to communicate. So it's a combination of the two. They now have better athletic friends that push them to be better at sports. Or they have better video game friends that push them to be better while playing. This isn't necessarily about money, or making more money from playing football or playing video games, but it's about elevating to the higher standard because of the people they got around. Now once you get to the teenage years, and they're starting to prepare to go to college, but they're getting in high school, then relationships become everything. Why? I cannot stress this enough. The better kids are at communicating and developing relationships, the more success they will have. So for me, example, we came from Wyoming to New York, and I knew one person in New York. We now know hundreds of people in New York. We've built a successful business in New York. We have relationships across industries, and all of these things have come together because my wife and I have actively sought out building relationships. So wealthy people, they understand. If I give my child $1 million when they graduate high school, that's really cool. They have $1 million, but they're going to spend it because they don't have good relationships. But if I give them the skill to be nice to people, to ask questions, to listen, if I teach them how to be centered and not emotionally all over the place, if I teach them how to care, I teach them discipline, how to work hard and earn people's respect, now they're going to be way better off, not only in the short term, but in the long term. So when kids are in the teenage years and they're rebellious, they're figuring things out, they're figuring out their emotions, especially men, and they're like, okay, well, I see a pretty girl, how do I talk to her, right? So what I've seen wealthy people do, they will take their 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 14-year-old, and they'll put them in a context where they have to speak, where they have to be vulnerable. So it's like, hey, son, go introduce yourself to that person, ask them how their day is doing. Most kids are like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go say hi to somebody and ask them how their day is doing. And translate that to most adults are afraid to do that. Go up to somebody in the grocery store, say, hey, I like your sweatshirt. I think it looks really nice. I hope you have an amazing day. For most people, that's a very scary thing to do. So wealthy people understand if they can get their kids comfortable in those types of contexts, then they'll be able to go anywhere in the world, in any industry, make friends, make relationships, and then convert that to business, convert that to money. In summary, if your kids look at money as a tool that they can use to either acquire more money, make a bigger impact, or gather more relationships, it's going to change the effect of, oh, I want this thing because I'll look cool. I want this thing because it'll feel good in the short term. The short-term gratification becomes much less significant in their mind because the long-term strategy and the stewardship of responsibility for the money is a lot more of a priority. If you want personalized help, our team offers a free wealth optimization session, and the link is going to be below. You can schedule a time there. Thank you for watching this video, and remember this. Start early, teach your kids the right foundation of mindset and relationships around money, and money will become simple and easy for them the rest of their life.